just got married. She flew in from filming The Danish Girls. She's there, and he claims that he was just sitting there calmly, and she was haranguing him. So he took a shot glass of vodka, and when he did that, she got mad, took the bottle of vodka, it was 8 to 10 feet, about where I am from you, and hurled it at him, and it happened to just take off the bottom part of his finger. And then he says she came and burned a hole in his cheek. The testimony is going to be that he self-mutilated on a number of occasions and burned himself in the cheek and also cut himself. But Amber never did that. And you're going to hear from the experts testifying about this finger injury and how fantastic this version is. But the other part of it was he was with Marilyn Manson for the week before, scoring on cocaine. You'll see text messages of him getting it from his handlers, the cocaine and the liquor. And you'll hear so much before that. But Amber gets there, and instead what he does is he takes 8 to 10 tablets of ecstasy almost immediately. And the next 3 days are just a cycle of very, very, very violent activity by him.
No, it's not to get you mad. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to.
To avoid talking to me, to
to
avoid working it out. That's
to escape
the
fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is, you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, 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 here you come. I come out. Fight, crazy, escalated. I go split again, I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
Amber keeps trying to calm him down. She tries to get him to eat. She tries to get him to sleep. She tries to do these things. And he would just, he was, at times delusional, paranoid. He would be, mad at somebody else. Then he'd be mad at her. And by the way, we'll talk about the prenup, but he called her lawyer, who she had because she wanted to give him a prenup, and then they got married too quickly, so she was going to give him a postnup. He called the lawyer from Australia, called her a bitch, and fired her.
What did Ms. Heard tell you she was upset about when she arrived in Australia?
Ms. Heard told me that the attorney that she met with was rude and dismissive, and all she was being shown was an example of a postnuptial agreement. Ms. Heard then stated to me that she was very upset. She stated to me that what she had said was, she said to the lawyer, the woman, that this Johnny can't, he must not, he doesn't know about this. He's never seen, he doesn't know that this is what this is. No way he would agree to this, which sent her into a tailspin. So by the time she arrived in Australia, that was sunk very deep into her psyche. I mean, so much so that what really surprised me was that she kept saying, "I'm not even in your will. I'm not even in your will." So those things just didn't, it felt wrong. And she could not let go of the fact that I was in on this post-nup agreement, and that I was trying to trick her into essentially getting nothing if something were to happen. And at a certain point, you don't know what to do. I mean, the person is telling you, she's telling you, you don't trust me, you don't trust me, you don't trust me, and for these things, all I could do was try to calm her down and say that I was not out to screw her over or put her in a position that was uncomfortable. It did not work, no. It escalated and escalated and turned into madness, chaos.
You'll hear the testimony from the lawyer on that. That's the type of Johnny Depp that was there. And he didn't want the post-nup, he didn't want the prenup, but now they're going to tell you that it was her that was mad. You're going to hear she had a lawyer and she was cooperating completely on that. So as you go through those 3 days of Australia, some pretty horrendous things happen to her. He rips off her nightgown. He has her jammed up against a bar. He has hurled bottles and bottles at her. He has dragged her across the floor on the broken bottles and the liquor. He has punched her. He has kicked her. He tells her he's going to fucking kill her. He fucking hates her. He's pounding at her, pounding her. And then he penetrates her with a liquor bottle. That's the Johnny Depp that you're going to hear about in this case.
Was it your understanding that Mr. Depp was in Australia at the time?
Yes.
At some point you flew to Australia, is that correct, in this March 2015 timeframe?
Yes.
Was that were you always planning to fly to Australia to visit with Mr. Depp in March of 2015?
No, I hadn't planned on it.
What made you fly to Australia?
He had wanted to see me. He had just wanted to check in. He wanted my company at that point.
He being Johnny Depp?
Yes.
And in Kipper 5, at Kipper 157, you see this note for 3/7/15 at 11:30. 11:30, it says, MD received a text message from client that he had been arguing with wife and that he had cut his finger. According to patient, his assistant and security were on their way to pick him up. You see that?
Yes.
And whose note is this?
That would be from Miss Lloyd.
Okay. And is this note accurate?
Yes, it's accurate.
Here shows a text from Mr. Depp to you on March 7th, 2015 at 5 p.m. And it says, "Hi, fucked man, had another one. I cannot live like this. She is as full of shit as a Christmas goose. I'm done. No more," all capital letters, 3 exclamation points. The constant insults, the demeaning, belittling, most heartbreaking spew that is only released from a malicious, evil, and vindictive cunt, 5 exclamation points. But you know what? 2 question marks, capital letters, far more hurtful than her venomous and degrading, endless, quote, educational ranting, ... 3 question marks. It's her hideously and purposefully hurtful tirades and her goddamn shocking treatment of the man she was meant to love above all, ... Here's the real deal, mate. Her obsession with herself, 2 question marks. It is far more important, She is, capital letters, so fucking ambitious, 3 exclamation points. She's so desperate for success and fame, That's probably why I was acquired, mate, 2 exclamation points. Although she has, capitalized, hammered me with what a sad old man has been I am, 3 dots. Cowan has done me the most cruel of favors, I'm so very sad, I cut the top of my middle finger off, What should I do? Exclamation point, 2 question marks. Except, of course, go to a hospital, I'm so embarrassed for jumping into anything with her, capitalize, fuck the world, 3 exclamation points, JD. Do you recall this text from Mr. Depp?
I don't recall the text, but I do recall him reaching out after this incident.
And then you responded, call me. You see that? That's the next text.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And did Mr. Depp call you?
I can't recall if he called me, but I know that I went to the residence.
It says on March 7th, 2015, patient was having a hard time leaving the house, so security suggested the MD and RN go to house to see patient. Upon arrival at the house, patient was sitting in car ready to leave. MD assessed patient's finger and will spend more time with patient at the location he's being moved to.
I don't recall what he said. I remember that he was very clear in speaking to me.
Okay. What did he, other than his finger, what did he look like?
He looked like someone who just had part of his finger taken off.
What did the rest of his hands and arms look like?
Nothing unusual.
What did the house look like?
The house was a mess.
Anything else you can describe about the house?
There were things on the floor. There were things that had been thrown around, it looked like. There were just things were out of order in that house.
Early evening, usually.
Why were you at the house that Sunday?
I was called to the house by one of Mr. Depp's assistants.
And about what time did you arrive at the house?
Around 2 o'clock, 2:30.
Who was there when you arrived?
Debbie Lloyd was there. David Kipper was there. Amber Heard was there. Jerry Judge was there.
And were you able to visually see Miss Heard?
Yes,
And you were able to hear her as well?
absolutely.
How would you describe her demeanor?
Hysterical, probably the best way to describe it. Crying a lot and, just crying uncontrollably, I think it's fair to say.
And how would you describe Jerry Judge's demeanor when he was speaking with her?
He was just keeping her calm, saying, "It's all right, love, it will be all right." Jerry was good, big heart, Jerry. He's a good guy.
What do you do next?
So I spoke to David Kipper, who was in the kitchen area, seemingly rummaging through a bin. He said that Mr. Depp had sustained an injury to his finger, one of his fingers, and he was looking for the fingertip that it said it had been severed.
And
So I said, "Well, shall I help you?" As one would. And he said, "Yeah, that would be a good idea." I left him in the kitchen. He said there was a lot more damage downstairs. So I went to, we split up. He left him in the kitchen. I went downstairs to search.
At some point, was Mr. Depp's fingertip found?
Yes,
Who found it?
I did.
And where did you find it?
Downstairs in the bar area, the games room bar area. Yes, that's one of the mirrors I was telling you about in the master bathroom.
And so, were you involved in cleaning any of this up?
I cleaned both of those mirrors at some point that evening, that night. Yes.
Were you able to tell what was used, or what substance what sort of the ink is that's used on the black writing there?
The same oil paint that was on the floor, on the parquet floor downstairs and various other places. It was the same oil paint.
All right. How about the red writing that says, call Carly Simon, she said it better, babe. Were you able to tell what was used to make that writing?
Lipstick, I believe.
Foundation.
Oh.
Objection foundation.
He's testified that he was cleaning it up.
I'll allow it. That's fine. Go ahead.
It certainly seemed like lipstick to me, red lipstick. It was quite waxy. I remember taking that off. It seemed like lipstick.
Mr. King, about how long were you at the house on that Sunday?
Quite a long time. It actually went into the early hours of Monday morning, so at least I got there around 2 in the afternoon of Sunday. I don't think I left there until 2 or 3 o'clock the next morning of the 9th.
Over the course of the time that you were there that day, did you have any interactions with Ms. Heard?
Yes, I certainly did. Yeah.
Can you describe those for us, please?
Yes, not too much initially. She was very, as I said, quite hysterical and crying a lot, and Jerry Judge was taking care of her, keeping her calm. Later in the evening, it was suggested that Ms. Heard go to a local hotel, to leave the house, go to a local hotel, which then became a suggestion that she go back to LA. And that's, I think, when I started interacting in terms of, at some point, I volunteered to travel with her to LA.
How did Ms. Heard respond to the suggestion that she leave for Los Angeles?
She was resistant to both of those suggestions, very resistant. She really didn't want to go and said, I can't leave, I can't leave. You know, it'll be the end if I leave. Those sorts of things.
After that, Amber goes to the airport, and what does she do? She buys a book by a psychiatrist who's talking about couples therapy. She's already trying to figure out a way to fix it again.
And so it was just, these went over a few hours. Those negotiations, if you like, and eventually Ms. Heard agreed that I would fly with her.
And did you, in fact, fly with her?
I did, on Monday the 9th. I did sort of say, finally, so what happened? You know, obviously referring to the house. And, I mean, she didn't give much explanation, if any. She did say, Ben, have you ever been so angry with someone you just lost it with them? And I sort of said, no, actually, I'm pretty calm, you know, even-tempered guy. But she did repeat it. She looked pretty incredulous that I hadn't, and she repeated it. You mean you've never lost it with somebody, got so angry with someone you just lost it with them? With a person, no, never. And that was pretty much the end of the conversation. She dropped it then.
At any point, did you observe anything about Ms. Heard physically on that flight?
Yes, I did. Right toward just before we landed, I noticed some marks on her arm, her left forearm.
How would you describe those?
Long, kind of uniform, evenly spaced, sort of long, thin marks. Very uniform, in fact.
And when did you first notice those?
On the plane towards coming into land, you know, gathering the stuff up, I noticed them then.
fix this marriage that's only a month old, and her husband has just done these horrible things to her. Now they go back to L.A. He's got to get his finger fixed, so he has to stop filming Pirates 5. They get there, and there's another fight in just 2 weeks from there. He's still using at this point. He's still drunk. But Amber finds on a TV screen, his monitor, she finds pictures of another woman, naked pictures of a woman, and text messages which show that he's clearly having an affair. She gets extremely mad. Amber can be jealous too. She can get angry. You know, she's half his age, and you know she's defiant. And we're not going to say she's perfect. She was mad as can be when she saw that, and she confronted him. The two of them were screaming at each other. Now her sister Whitney happened to be in the house, so Amber actually gets up and punches Johnny in the face. She'll tell you that's the only time she has ever laid one on him, you know, in an aggressive manner.
And how did you come to the understanding that on some occasions Ms. Heard physically abused Mr. Depp?
Ms. Heard reported that.
What did Ms. Heard report to you?
That it was a point of pride, two things. It was a point of pride to her if she felt disrespected to initiate a fight. The second one is what she reported to me, which is if he was going to leave her to de-escalate from the fight, she would strike him to keep him there. She would rather be in a fight than have him leave.
But it's after he's already been hitting her, and it's in defense of her sister. And she'll admit, she got him that time, and she actually did have an impact on him.
Sometimes, I know she led on more than one occasion and started it to keep him with her because abandonment and having him leave was her worst nightmare. And I think he may have initiated it on occasions too. I'm less sure on.
I come out, fight, crazy, escalated. I go split again, I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
She'll testify about how many times they were in their fights, and she said, you know, she's almost half his size. So he, you know, she said, if I pushed him, he doesn't move. He pushes me, I go flying across the room. There isn't any, you know, ability on her part to be the abuser. What she'll also tell you is it took her a while to ever fight back. That many times before that, she would do what she did when she was breaking the horses. She wouldn't show fear, she wouldn't show pain, she would look at him, she would just be defiant, and all it would do was piss him off more.
You write, she reported trying to initiate a fight with him one night by slapping him when she was offended by what he said. Is the she you're referring to there, Ms. Heard?
Yes, it is.
And is the he you're referring to Johnny Depp?
Yes, it is.
Then in the last sentence, it was also at this time that she showed me photos of her injuries.
She'll tell you that she tried everything. She tried everything, you know, from trying to be nice, trying to get away from him. You know, she would throw things in his way to get him from running after her.
I come out, fight, crazy, escalated. I go split again, I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock, 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 bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
Try to, you know, flail back. She would use her hands and legs, and she would go and try to fight him. She'd run into her room and try to barricade and push his hands and everything out of there. She'd try all those things, but she couldn't figure out what could get him to calm down.
What happened?
This was, as I said, Ms. Heard talking on the phone to me. Mr. Depp's mother was in ICU. He had been doing he was fucked up, as she would say, on a lot of drugs, and she slapped him because he was being incoherent and talking about being with another woman.
Did she tell you that he had hit her first, or was she the one who initiated the slap?
She initiated that one because I think she felt demeaned and threatened.
And this is what she reported to you, correct?
Yes.
He was not present. He was not on the call when she made these allegations. Was he?
No.
And you didn't see any of this, did you?
No.
And you didn't see her in person?
No.
Okay. Directing your attention to the last snippet from that session, will she have advantage if she leaves him but files with police for abuse first? Was that a question that she asked you?
Yes, this was her talking out loud, trying to strategize for herself.